Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, True Crime Files with Kathy. Um, I don't know, most people have probably heard this story. It goes back to 2021, and this boy was felt by many people. Um, he didn't live with his biological mother, although she did have contact with him. He lived with his dad, and he also lived with his dad's girlfriend. So that was his stepmom. She's been accused. Well, she wasn't accused. She was sentenced to life in prison for unaliving this little lad. Now, it's really sad because the biological mother, says in a police press conference that, you can tell she's distraught, but she's still saying that her ex should be sort of held responsible. He should be possibly doing time inside as well, as Teresa Barbola. But I know people can be convincing, but from what I've seen on the interviews with the father, he is genuinely upset, distraught. He says he's not eating, sleeping. I would like the deception person to analyze his dad's words and interviews. And then when they're talking to his girlfriend, Teresa, you can still hear him in the background, really distraught and upset, talking to reporters. Now, I know some people can be really convincing, but, sometimes you can, when someone's being deceptive and not telling the truth, you can usually tell it a mile away. A bit like it was with Emmanuel Harrow. You could tell his parents were not telling the truth from day one. But I generally feel Samuel's dad is telling the truth. I might be completely wrong, but this is my own opinion. It's a really, sad case. He lived in Houston. His biological mum did not have custody, but she remained in contact. And a lot of people that knew Samuel described him as kind, energetic, and affectionate. His grandparents especially said, how affectionate he was. Samuel was often isolated, which reduced outside oversight. So not many people, excuse me, could see. Why is it every time I do come on here to do a recording or go live, I get a frog in my throat? So there was a lot of people that could have possibly seen what was going on, and because the boy wasn't in sight, he got overlooked. But even though when they interviewed the father and the stepmom, they said he'd just recently gone missing. Evidence showed that he probably had been unalived early May. And that there was evidence of physical abuse in the home. He was allegedly beaten and restrained up until his unaliving. So if that's all the case, it's hard to understand how the dad didn't know about these things, in my opinion. Even though I think he sounded genuine in the interviews. Excuse me, let me just have a drink a minute. Well, I know some people can be good actors. But his stepmother, Teresa Balboa, hid his body instead of reporting his death. She'd also placed him in a plastic storage container, and the container was kept for several weeks. People still thought little Samuel was still alive. But, he was reported missing on May the 27th. But like I said, they believe he was unalived a couple of weeks before that. So you're looking around about the 10th of May onwards. This goes back in 2021. So it's, 5-6 years old now. But we still need to give the voiceless a voice. And I thought I would cover this story because we need to give him a voice. You know, he's such a cute little boy. And we need to give Samuel a voice. So if you like this little boy, if you feel sorry for this little boy, you wish this little boy still had his life to live, please click like and subscribe and then all notifications. That way it helps me to get into the YouTube algorithm. So what I should do, I should go straight on to the story of him and we'll take it from there. I've got to remove this one first. Why is it doing that? A minute. Oh, hold on. Oh, gosh. Why is it when you plan something, it goes all wrong? Teething issues. That's what it is. Teething issues. So how is everybody today? I hope everyone's fine. The weekend's meant to be, the week ahead's meant to be quite mild, I think, which is good because I feel the cold. Right, let's go ahead. Need to make it bigger.
Police are searching for a missing 5-year-old boy. Police say Samuel Olson was last seen Thursday in the 8800 block of McAvoy Drive. He was wearing a gray T-shirt with a red Kool-Aid man on the front of it, jean shorts, and white Buzz Lightyear
I won't
sneakers.
do too much talking.
Today we have seen police in that vicinity as they continue their investigation in Southwest Houston on McAvoy Drive. Now, police say the girlfriend of Sam's father told investigators that Sam's mother showed up with a uniformed officer on May 27th and that she gave Sam to them.
Samuel Olson had not been to school in almost a month. Friday, April 30th, that's the last time he was in attendance at Holbrook Elementary School. That weekend of May 1st and the 2nd, his grandmother says he was with her. She snapped this photo of him on May 1st at a birthday party.
Sam reportedly felt sick when his father, Dalton, came to pick him up. Dalton told Fox 26 Sam was sent to quarantine at his girlfriend's apartment in Webster because Sam and Dalton lived with a chronically ill family member in Cyprus.
May 2nd, it's the last time I physically had my hands on Sam.
The gap between May 2nd and now is the unknown.
Samuel was last seen in Southwest Houston, but the search for this boy has expanded to the Webster area.
The nightmare carried on. Day 5 today, the search, a grassy field behind an apartment complex at the intersection of Dixie Farm Road and Gulf Breeze Drive in Webster. Why this location, officials would not disclose.
Texas EquiSearch helped look for 6-year-old Samuel Olson.
We're really trying to figure out when is the last time little Sam was actually seen, so we've got somewhat of a starting point of when something possibly happened.
Say your name, spell it for me.
My name is Dalton Olson, Dalton Olson.
Dalton, this must be some rough.
You just look at him while he's been interviewed and you tell me what you believe. Put it in the chat comments, please. But here, I think he sounds genuine. But then what makes me disbelieve that is, how could he not know his girlfriend, Samuel's stepmom, had anything to do with it? You know, how could he not know? You know, so I just don't understand. But a lot of these child abuse cases always start off with that they've been reported missing.
Times, can you tell me what it's been like?
I feel like I'm living in a nightmare I can't wake up from. No parent should ever have to feel this. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm at a loss for words, man.
Have the police told you anything or given you any?
We're doing our best right now to get out there and search for him. We're trying to cooperate and give them everything. We've given them everything that we can. Any little information we think is important or even as insignificant as we think it is, we still hand it over. Yeah. We're just trying to do everything we can to play our part to help bring my son home safe, because that's all that matters at the end of today is please help me find my son.
What was your son's name?
His name is Samuel Olson. He just turned 6 years old on the 29th. He has a little bit of shaggy hair on top, shorter on the sides.
And you said you can be passing out some flyers.
Yes, sir. We're all in the area.
Yeah.
We've been in the Pasadena, LaPorte area passing out flyers. Right now, we're here on the southwest side of Houston passing out flyers. We're going to go to the area where he was last seen, and we're going to pass out flyers. I mean, anywhere we can just hand out anything for somebody if they've seen something. I mean, any little bit of information will help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That is my whole world. And I couldn't imagine if anything happened to him, and I believe that he's still out there.
Alboa says Samuel was staying with her at her mother's home in Southwest Houston last Thursday morning.
I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer. They had a full police uniform. They had a gun, handcuffs, everything, radio, and they demanded me to release Sam. They said I would go to jail because I have no rights to him, so I had no choice but to hand him over. She just pointed and said, "That's my son." She took him. "Give me my son back." That was it. And the rest of the conversation was between me and the officer.
So the mother was with a police officer?
Yes. Or what I was under the impression was a police officer.
She stood side by side with Samuel's father, Dalton, as he made an emotional appeal for his son's safe return.
I just want to bring my son home safely.
Find Sam and bring him back.
I can't even think. I can't sleep. I can't hold down any food. I'm just concerned because that's the most important thing in my whole life. We're giving the police every bit of information that they need. Anything we can, and giving them phone records and all that.
Everything.
Just whatever we can to help. Just, like I said,
Because it's about Sam.
It's all about Sam.
We just want to find Sam. That's it. We're just asking any information, anybody, please help us find Sam.
And what does he mean to you?
Everything. He's my baby. Like I said, I've done schoolwork with him, taught him a lot of stuff, and we just want him back. Any information, please help us find him and bring him home.
And how are you feeling right now?
Words can't even describe how distraught, overwhelmed, scared, like so many emotions that it's just been really hard. It's been really hard.
You really love him.
Of course, I've been over backwards, done everything I can for him, for Dalton also, because it's been hard. It's been really hard. But we know we're gonna find him.
So tell us what you're doing kind of with police and everything like that right now.
We're doing flyers, everything that police ask us to do, we're doing it. Anything that we've been told, advised to do, we're doing it.
So have everything been like inside your place and all of that? Like,
yes,
because that's part of
yes. They've been inside the apartment. They've been inside everywhere. Like they've searched, and we're gonna continue to search until we find him.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with not with us. And that's
if you notice, the dad is generally crying, the grandparents are generally crying. She has not got one shred of tear. Her eyes are dry. So I don't know. It just buggers me up. It really does. It messes me with my head how people like her can unalive a child and then talk normally, and seem convincing. They must have done really well at drama in school. That's all I can say.
The important thing is that he is not with us, and we need to bring him back to us. So I can't say where he could be, where he might be, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing, everything we've been doing, and we're gonna continue to do it.
You think he's definitely alive?
Oh, yeah. We just keep picturing him sitting, watching cartoons, waiting for us. Just sitting there waiting for us. And we're going to get him. We're going to find him.
Tell me about your relationship. Did he call you mom? Did he, I mean, or at least
Super mommy.
Well, you're
That was
not
his
super
choice.
mama, yeah.
Not, it wasn't forced. We didn't force him because I'm like, I don't want to.
How would, like, a 5-year-old be able to class her as a super mummy unless she had implanted it into his mind, saying, oh, I'm your super mummy? I can't see a 5-year-old automatically going to call her super mummy. Unless she's lying, that's what Samuel used to call her, and she's just saying this for the cameras to make her look good, but she is not good at all. And when you see her here, I think it was 2 years time he went missing till she was in prison. But in those 2 years, you'll see when she's in court, she's gained a lot of weight. Normally, stress, I guess it can go both ways. Because with me, if I'm stressed or my anxiety's at a high, I do overeat. And I'm not a slender person by any means. But she's changed a lot. You'll see her here to when you see her when she's in court. You'll see the difference. And the way she's did her blonde bits as dip dye in her hair, you notice when you see a biological mother, how similar she's done her hair. You know, to me, she was like trying to be a copycat, but I could be wrong.
Like force that, but you know, he used to call me super mommy or Teresa. You know, it was still uncomfortable for him, you know, because you know he's little, he's a kid, and he knows who his mom is, but he also knows that how much I care about him and everything that I've been doing for him and have done for him.
Yeah, you cared so much, you unalived him.
We're gonna find him. I know we're gonna find him.
Also, we should note that Olson got a protective order against Balboa, his girlfriend, last year amid domestic violence allegations. And so we asked about that today because if ultimately Balboa had Samuel, why would she have him if ultimately there was a restraining order against her filed by her boyfriend? To that, both Olson and Balboa said that they had their problems, they've worked through them, and the boy wasn't there at the time of that alleged incident.
Ah, darn. I want to catch a little picture of that boy. Let me see if I can get back.
There was a restraining order against her.
No, I can't. Sorry about that, guys. I wanted that picture. I'll have to look on the internet.
Filed by her boyfriend. To that, both Olson and Balboa said that they had their problems, they've worked through them, and the boy wasn't there at the time of that alleged incident.
The sun began to set. Investigators made it inside this apartment unit. Officials say this is the location where Samuel may have been. At about 8 o'clock tonight, Texas EquiSearch crews took off on ATVs to scour the overgrown area surrounding the complex.
Try to find somebody that's seen Sam. When is the last time anybody saw this little boy?
Tonight, family members don't know where he could be.
We really are confused about everything that's going on at the moment. This was his birthday Saturday. It should have been the happiest day of his life. And it's just about bringing Sam home safe. $100.
Samuel's grandmother shared this video of the boy with us tonight.
He's very funny, very loving. He tells jokes.
But for a man who's spent decades searching for missing people,
I sure the hell don't think this is going to have a happy ending.
Evening. My name is Larry Satterwhite. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief over Field and Support Operations. With me is Assistant Chief Heather Morris over Criminal Investigations Command. So why are we here? We are looking for Samuel Dalton Ronald Olson. He's a 6-year-old child, just turned, and we are looking everywhere we can to find him. I'll tell you what we know and that I can share. On Thursday, May 27th in the evening time around 6 p.m., we received a call in Southwest Houston about Samuel being taken by another individual. Officers went to that location, started taking information from the individuals there that made the call about Samuel being taken. From there, the reports went in to our missing persons unit, and we started looking for Samuel. We didn't know what we had. We didn't know if we had a child custody issue. We could still have that, or anything else more nefarious. We just don't know, or if we were even getting the accurate information. But this is how we conduct our investigations. We started talking to everybody that has any connection to little Samuel, in terms of where his caretakers, any relatives, and everyone else. And we're still doing that today. We have not located him yet. And no one seems to know where he is that we've talked to so far. Why are we here today? The apartment behind us is one of the last known locations that we are reported to have that little Samuel was at. So this is why we were here today and going in and looking for anything possible that might lead us to getting him back. I know that a lot of you saw that we had EquiSearch and officers in the field next behind us searching. It just goes to show you we are looking everywhere, anywhere possible where a 6-year-old child could be, or could have on his own, or by any potential other party that might have him.
The woman who apparently reported him being taken by someone on the 27th, is that woman now missing?
We are still looking. We have talked to all of those individuals, even as much as earlier today. So we're still asking questions of everybody that might have involvement here or might know something. And at this point, I don't know specifically where her whereabouts right now. I'm not willing to say she's missing. I'm just saying I don't know where she is at this moment.
Can you tell us who has custody of the boy?
So it's a little bit complicated, but the biological mother and the biological father have joint custody, and each has times with the child. So that's what we know by court records at this point, and I haven't been given any updates on that. We've talked to all of the parties, and unfortunately, no one knows where the child is right now.
Have you been able to figure out the last time someone actually saw him?
All we have are reports. The last time we know for a fact where he was his school, and that was April the 30th. So we are working very hard because there's a lot of reports of where he was and why he was where he was. And we are trying to verify all of that information. And again, this is a complicated case, but we're trying to move with as much urgency as we can to get him back safely. We just are still
just trying to speed it up for you guys so you're not here forever watching it.
Not where we need to be in terms of locating him.
Do you think the story of the bomb and fake cop, is that a credible story?
We're trying to verify that.
Whose residence is this that you saw?
This is a residence where little Samuel was kept with someone who was watching him at the time, according to the reports that we have. Again, we have not verified everything yet. Right now, all we have are reports of the people that are involved, and we're trying to verify the stories, whether or not they're true or untrue. And it's just taking some time.
Did you just say that the last time you could verify that multiple people actually saw him was April 30th? Is that what you said?
That's what I said. We know the school reported it that they had seen him on April 30th. And then since then, we are trying to figure out all the whereabouts. Again, we have reports from family members that are saying where he was, and we're trying to verify those things. But people outside of those people closest to him, we have not talked to anybody that has seen him.
So is it possible we've been missing since April 30th?
It is possible.
What do you do from here? What's going to happen now?
We are still talking to everybody. We are going everywhere possible. We are going to use everything available to us through the courts, the legal system, for getting information as quickly as possible to verify whereabouts. And hopefully through all of those types of measures, we'll find something that will lead us to him and get him back.
Does this apartment belong to the father's girlfriend?
No, sir. The apartment belongs to another individual that the the father's girlfriend knew.
Have you made contact with that individual?
We made contact with them. Yes.
You say it's complicated. It's complicated because there's so many different stories that you're getting.
It's complicated for all of those things. Everybody's saying what they, what happened. And again, we're just trying to verify and piece it all together. But again, I will say again that if anybody knows anything about this or can shed some light on where little Samuel is, so please call us and let us know. We'd like to get him back.
And specifically here at this location, you have a search warrant. Can you tell us what you're searching for and how long you'll be in there?
It's like anything else. We were hoping to find Samuel, but we're going to go. The warrants that we draw and everything that we do is basically we are doing everything we can legally to try to locate him and get him back. So there'll be more, and there'll be more locations checked, and we really won't stop until we find him.
How does no one know where a 6-year-old is?
It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you, but we're going to find out.
He is the sweetest, kindest, most loving child. He's so smart. He loves dinosaurs. He can tell you which ones are herbivores and carnivores, and he put.
I just got to receive this phone call. I might be 5-10 minutes, but I will be back, guys.
Puts them in the hibiscus trees and lets them eat, and he loves Buzz Lightyear and Woody and Forky, and he's got a really funny personality. We just need information on anybody that knows anything to please contact HPD or EquiSearch, Tim. They're all working very hard. This case is very confusing, like HPD said last night. There's conflicting stories. They're sorting out those issues at the moment. The last person Sam was seen was with Teresa Balboa. Last night, I know you guys are all aware of this because we just found out last night and we are devastated. We can't find her now. So this is turned. The most important thing is anybody who knows where she's at, to please contact HPD. Teresa, if you're watching this, you need to contact HPD. If you're telling the truth, you have God on your side. My son and all of us know nothing. We are shocked. We are devastated for everybody involved. And the possibility of trusting someone you thought you knew could do this. We have to have answers. Now, whether the other families involved, I don't know. But whoever it is, this is Sam. He just turned 6. We didn't even get spend his birthday with him.
Were you able to talk to Teresa? Because I know she's been MIA.
She has been with us since day one. And she has been helping search. From Friday, she's been in with investigators. Several times she's given up her phone. My son, we've all given up. We've all been interviewed. So now we don't understand what's going on. We just need to get to the bottom of this for Sam. We need to know where he is, that he's safe and he's coming home.
Has your son talked to Teresa? When's the last time he spoke to her?
Yesterday at 4:15.
Then?
Yes.
What does he have to say about it?
He is devastated.
We have no idea what she went.
No. No. She was on the other side of the road handing out flyers. Dalton went down the other side, and that was it.
When's the last time your son talked?
You'd have to ask Dalton. Everything's just a blur right now. But Dalton has seen and talked to Sam. So that's another thing. They're trying to pinpoint dates down.
And how often does Sam stay with his mom?
Sam hasn't been with his mom since January of last year.
2020?
Yes.
And why is that?
Again, I'm not discussing any of the details of that.
We can't indulge anything on that right
Was
now.
this a custody issue at all in May?
I cannot discuss any of that. Again, like I said, it really doesn't even matter what happened before. We have to find Sam now. As a mom and as a grandma, if you know anything or you think your child is capable of this, You need to sit them down and pray with them and make them do the right thing. I know it's hard to have to think that you love somebody and somebody could do something. But we need to know, and you need to face whatever consequences for your actions. Just bring Sam home. Just bring Sam home. This can't go on anymore. We need to know where he is, and that he's safe, and that he's good. And that way he can have a birthday party.
Did you have something planned for his birthday on Saturday?
Yes, we did.
What were you going to do?
We were going to have a party here at the house for him.
But if it was going to rain, we were going to go to pizza. And
What do you want to say to Sam?
Dad loves you, baby. Uncle White loves you. Papa loves you. Daddy loves you. I know your mommy loves you. I know that your Mimi loves you. I know all your aunts and uncles and cousins and everybody loves you and misses you. And we're gonna see you soon, honey. I promise. I promise, Sam. I promise. I'll never give up.
Good morning. My name is Heather Morris. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Criminal Investigations Command. I'm going to be providing some information on this investigation of missing 5-year-old boy, Samuel Olson, now 6. But so I wanted to start off also by introducing my team that I have with me here this morning. I've got Commander Null of the Homicide Division, and also I have missing persons investigators of the Major Assaults Family Violence Unit here with me. And I'll start off. I've got Officer Sean King. I've got Officer Brian Fort. I've got Officer Danny Doe. I've got Officer Martha Bailey, Sergeant Brendan McCord, and Officer Darren Busey. So we've asked everybody here today to provide information on the investigation of 6-year-old Samuel Olson, who was reported missing to HPD on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at approximately 6 p.m. Patrol officers were dispatched to a residence in the southwest part of town where they met the father of Samuel, Dalton Olson. Also at the residence was Mr. Olson's girlfriend, Teresa Balboa. Mrs. Balboa told the officers on the scene that she was at the residence that morning at approximately 7 a.m. when she saw Samuel's mother with an unknown officer at the front of the residence. Ms. Balboa indicated that the officer told her that she would go to jail for kidnapping if she did not return Samuel to the mother. Ms. Balboa indicated that she recognized Samuel's mother because she had seen her before. Ms. Balboa told the officers that Samuel's mother and the officer left in separate vehicles. Ms. Olson told the officers that once he heard Mr. Olson told the officers that once he heard this story from Ms. Balboa, he contacted Samuel's mother and she told him that Samuel was not with her. Missing persons investigators began working this investigation and made contact with Samuel's mother. Through investigative efforts, they were provided evidence that Samuel's mother was at her residence throughout the entire morning of May 27, 2021. And missing persons investigators discovered inconsistencies in Ms. Balboa's statements and consulted the Homicide Division. From that point, a collaborative effort was conducted by both the Missing Persons Unit and homicide investigators. Also, Texas EquiSearch assisted in searching multiple locations. A search warrant was obtained for the residence in the 15,000 block of the Gulf Freeway. This is the residence where Ms. Balboa was living. On Monday, the search warrant was executed by investigators in the Houston Forensic Science Center collected evidence from that location. That evidence will be processed and analyzed for its forensic value. Also, a 2012 Dodge Avenger was towed from that location to also be searched and analyzed for evidence. Yesterday, investigators were contacted by Jasper Police Department, and they were notified that they had received an anonymous tip from Crime Stoppers that led law enforcement officers to a motel in Jasper, Texas, in connection with this investigation. Jasper Police Department officers initiated contact at the motel with Ms. Balboa and eventually discovered the body of a young child. Ms. Balboa was taken into custody. At this time, we believe the child to be Samuel.
More than 100 miles and 4 counties away from where that 6-year-old had last been seen.
I guess it was around 5:30 or 6 or so. I just happened to look outside the hotel window and I saw like 3 or 4 cop cars pull up. They kept trying different room keys and they were knocking and trying to get the door open, and a couple of them had their guns out, and they finally opened the door, went in real quick, and they pulled a female out with brown hair, put her against the wall, and immediately handcuffed her and put her in an SUV.
So far, only one arrest has been made in this case. 29-year-old Teresa Balboa, Dalton's girlfriend. Balboa was charged with tampering with evidence of a human corpse.
We're going to do her. Not present. She was arrested pursuant to a warrant for her arrest for the felony offense of tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse. The fact that it's a warrant means that probable cause has already been found by the judge who signed this arrest warrant. Her case has been assigned to the 180th District Court. The judge in that court is Deshaun Jones. Mr. Henderson, did the Public Defender's Office get the opportunity to interview Ms. Balboa?
We did speak to Ms. Balboa, yeah.
Okay, so do you have her consent to represent her at this bond hearing?
We do.
Ms. Keith, what is the state's request with regard to bond?
I'm urging the state's motion requesting a $500,000 bond, and I'm opposed to a personal bond. The facts set forth in this warrant are terribly disturbing. Specifically, this 6-year-old complainant's father had reported his son missing after he had been in the custody of this defendant. This defendant was interviewed, told the police that the complainant's biological mother and an unidentified individual that she claimed represented himself as a police officer had taken custody of the complainant from her residence or from a residence in Harris County without consent. An employee from the complainant's school advised that the complainant was last at school on April 30th, 2021, which is when which is a month prior to when this defendant claimed that the complainant's mother had taken non-consensual custody of him. That defendant's statements were refuted by the surveillance footage provided by the complainant's mother, showing her at her own residence at the time the defendant claimed that she had come and taken custody of this complaining witness. The complainant's father told officers that the defendant told him on May 27th that the mother had come and taken custody, all of which was refuted by that surveillance video. Another individual who is this defendant's roommate told officers that on May 10th, he stated he was contacted by the defendant who advised him that the complainant was deceased, that he did observe bruising to the complainant's body when he arrived to that address on the Gulf Freeway, and that he and this defendant had placed the complainant's body in a bathtub where it remained for 2 days, that he had purchased duct tape and a plastic tote at a local Walmart on the 13th, which was verified by a receipt that was recovered, and that he and this defendant had wrapped the complainant's body in a plastic sheet, placed it into the tote, and took it to a storage unit located in Webster, Harris County, Texas. On June 1st, the Jasper Police Department received a Crime Stoppers tip about the complainant in this case. They went to a motel located in Jasper County where they found this defendant. They found the tote that was described by the witness. They smelled the distinct odor of decomposition, human decomposition, in the motel room. And they did find what they believed to be the complainant's body wrapped in a black plastic bag which was secured with duct tape as described by the witness. They also spoke to another witness who stated that this defendant had asked him to come pick her up. He met her in Cleveland, Texas, where they drove then to Webster and obtained the tote from the storage unit. He took her and dropped her off at the motel, and then he is the one who reported the Crime Stoppers tip. Based on the fact that she was found in Jasper County with other information, was en route to Louisiana, the fact that there is ongoing investigation as to the complainant's cause and manner of death, and that additional charges may be filed once that investigation is complete. We are asking for that amount, also based on the fact that she's currently on bond for a felony domestic violence charge against this minor complainant's biological father, who is the one who had reported him missing. I don't have any reason to believe that a personal bond or a lower bond will be reasonable or sufficient to ensure public safety or to ensure her appearance in court, given the evidence of flight.
Mr. Henderson, what's your request with regard to bond?
Judge, I'm requesting a $20,000 bond. First pointing out that Ms. Balboa is presumed innocent at this time, is merely facing allegations. She's been charged with a second-degree felony. She's never been convicted of any violent offense and has no felony convictions of any kind. She has strong ties to this area and won't be going anywhere else while on bond. She's 29 years old and hasn't lived anywhere else. She has been living at the same address for over 3 years, which also speaks to her ties to the community. Her family, her mother's going to be able to drive her to her court appearances while fighting this allegation while on bond. Like many individuals, she's going through a period of unemployment, has been for the last 2 months now. She was consistently employed for over half a year cleaning homes, which speaks to her ability to show both. So I'm requesting a $20,000 bond for the second-degree felony too.
I have a sworn to financial affidavit from Ms. Balboa, which reflects she's been living in a house in Houston for 3 years. She's unemployed. She was not booked into jail with any cash on hand, no money in savings or checking. She is currently on bond for assault, family violence, impeding breathing. A condition of that bond is that she not engage in conduct that results in her arrest. She's scoring a no on the new violent criminal activity flag, a 3 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, 3 out of 6 on a failure to appear scale. She's an average risk. I do believe she's a flight risk, considering she was in the act of fleeing with this child's body. I'm going to set her bond at $500,000. I am not approving a personal bond. If she is able to post bond, I'm going to order as a condition of any bond that she posts that within 1 day of her release from custody, she get an electronic ankle monitor and she will be under house arrest 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm also going to order she have no unsupervised contact with any child under the age of 17. Anything else? No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Balboa, a mother to 2 young girls, didn't show up for court in 2019 on the day their father's mother was given custody.
Tried to help her for many years.
You tried to help her?
Yeah. I know she wasn't taking good care of them. She wasn't born to be a mom.
From the get-go, you were concerned about Teresa's parenting.
Yeah.
Because
it was obvious she wasn't a mother.
We met through a mutual friend in the neighborhood. My mom lives in the same neighborhood as her mom lives in. I don't know. It's weird and it's confusing because, as the mother of my children, I've known that girl for a long time, and I know that she's had problems. I know that she's had a difficult life, but I would never have thought something of this magnitude would ever happen. Teresa had her first kid at 16, I think. Teresa loved being a mom. I don't know what happened or what switched in her mind or what flipped her switch, but at one point in time, Teresa loved being a mom. Truth be told, the relationship that I had with Teresa, that me and her had together, was a very unhealthy one.
There was an ongoing custody dispute between Samuel's mother and father, and His father actually had a restraining order against Teresa Balboa, the woman now charged in connection to the case. Certainly just, as I mentioned, a complicated situation.
She said she tried for months to get her son Sam back, but the courts failed her. She said she had no idea he wasn't with his father. Sam's mother, Sarah.
So they also, the biological mum wants her ex to be done for the missing, for him going missing. But from what I saw in the interviews, I thought his dad sounded quite genuine. But then on the next hand, even though he sounded genuine, how did he not know that she did something to his son? As far as I'm aware, even to this day now, no action's been taken against him. But, his biological mother is so hurt. You can see that from when she does a press conference. And that, which is understandable, you're going to have no words to speak about them. And, she's never going to get over this.
Olson released photos of the fun-loving little boy and asked her attorney to speak for her.
My name is Marco Gonzalez, and we represent our client Sarah Olson and family all proceedings. I've jotted down some things that she wanted me to say on her behalf. Utmost priority is to make sure that justice is done for her baby Samuel. Okay, and she also doesn't want people to forget, his name. Obviously, it's a tragedy that has happened, and she's hurting very deeply, right now. She feels she's glad, that the girlfriend Teresa is in custody, because she feels that, she played a part in it, especially with, the set of facts that were coming out of the stories, that were made up a few days ago as to this made-up officer. And we all know that is what's going on, that Teresa is in custody. But she also strongly believes that Dalton, the child's father, should also be in custody, because she feels that 100% that they both, had something to do with this. So she's hoping, and praying that he also will be taken into custody, so that justice can be done for Samuel. She just wants everybody to know that, she's completely heartbroken.
Did she say why she thought Dalton was involved?
I'm sorry.
Did she go into any detail why she suspected that Dalton could be involved too?
I mean, from the fact that the child last time was seen on April the 30th, an entire month, and then this concocted story about this fake officer just 1 week ago. I mean, it just doesn't add up. And if this Samuel's been in Dalton's, possession, since April 30th, then, and for him not to say anything or do anything, then obviously it seems like it was both of them orchestrating something.
Dalton's family has come out, very publicly about the fact that they had no idea about this. Did she react to those statements at all? Did she have any contact with Dalton or his family?
No, but I mean, she obviously, reacted to the thought of, the story about that she went with some unknown person dressed up as a police officer in order to obtain custody from Teresa. I mean, she couldn't believe that story. She was just, it was outrageous. I mean, it should be outrageous to, everybody. I mean, like when I first saw it on the news, when Teresa said that, I mean, just looking at it, you could tell she was she was lying. And even, when I first saw it, with some.
That's what I thought when I first saw Teresa talking to the news person, that you could tell she wasn't telling the truth. She was like grinning, which is also another sign that she's not telling the truth. And plus, she didn't have one single tear. Even if she was the stepmom of him, you would have thought she would have had, some tears to shed. Whereas, I still say the dad is innocent, but it's hard because even though I believe he's innocent, he must, like I said earlier, he must have known that she had done something to his son. So, it's a really difficult one. And I know some people can be really good actors, just like you could tell the truth straight away when Emmanuel Harrow went missing. You could tell straight away the parents weren't telling the truth. That was an easy giveaway. But some parents are so convincing, you think, are they really telling the truth or are they lying? But, you know, the police must believe that the dad was telling the truth, because otherwise he would have been in court as well.
Of my colleagues, here yesterday morning, I was like, he's lying. So he's like, because this is our profession. We deal with all kinds of cases in different areas of law here, and as lawyers, we got to try to, depict if somebody's telling the truth or lying, and that's how our next line of questioning is going to go. And if we can, feel that we're going to pin somebody down, on the witness stand, in front of a court proceeding. So, I mean, just looking at the way his demeanor and his tone, and looking off, to the left from me, I was like, this guy's lying. And as soon as she started speaking, that showing no emotion, when she was going to say it, I was like, she's lying too. I mean, they're up to something. And what's crazy is that was yesterday morning, and then at night, all of a sudden, the child was found in Jasper, and her mugshot has been placed everywhere. So, man, it's a rough situation. And,
what has it been like for you all trying to nail down the facts?
I mean, probably as hard as the police investigators, the times that they have with every investigation they're going through to try to nail down the facts. Because when people are slick and sly and trying to get away with things, they're going to come up and they're going to come up with all kinds of stories and all kinds of things to try to throw investigators or throw the media or throw any reasonable person off of their scent.
Did you say it was April the 30th, the last time that Sarah saw Sam?
No, April 30th was
the last time at school. I got you. When was the last time Sarah saw him?
The last time Sarah, I think I said it this morning or said yesterday, it was like summertime last year. And it's just been a nightmare for her this past year.
Appearing in court Monday and escorted back to jail after a judge increased her bond to $600,000.
Today, Ms. Balboa was brought before the court on capital murder charges. We read probable cause to the judge, who did find that there was probable cause in the case to charge her, and we're awaiting her to have an attorney appointed to her.
What happens next?
Next, we take the case before the.
Sorry, I will try and get the chat back. All I did was type something, press enter, and chat's gone. But I will try working on it.
Grand jury, we have 90 days since her in custody date to do that. So since June 1st, and then the grand jury will make a determination again if there's probable cause to proceed with the case. But we're confident that that will be found.
What happens with the temporary evidence charge?
That will be kept open for now. And the district attorney will make a determination about that at a later date.
And will this go before a committee to be in office regarding life and death?
Yes, only the district attorney, Kim Ogg, can make that determination. And so it'll be presented to Capital Review Committee by myself in order for her to make that determination.
Do you know when that would happen?
I'm not sure, no.
What is her bond?
Right now, a bond has not been set in the capital murder, but she's at, I believe, about $600,000 worth of bonds on the tampering and then the assault family member impeding breathing case.
Okay.
For this capital murder charge, can you elaborate? How did you guys come about from tampering to capital murder? Is that possible?
So I was reviewing the evidence in terms of the laboratory evidence and the cell phones that we've received, and making sure that we could in fact corroborate the statements of Benjamin Rivera in regards to who was responsible for the death of Samuel Olson. And after reviewing that, I'm confident that I can meet my burden in this case and get justice for little Samuel.
You said in court that she had called him saying that she thinks that she'd killed Sam. Is that what?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And so we were able to corroborate that by looking at the cell phone evidence.
Can you tell us why this charge is in this court, the other one is in 180?
So in Harris County, there's a capital wheel, and anytime a capital murder is filed, that case gets assigned to a court, regardless of if there are already pending charges, and the charges will be attracted from the 180th to the 174th now. Anything else, y'all?
Good.
Okay.
What's next for the case?
Next, I will present this case to the district attorney, Kim Ogg, to determine whether or not she wants to seek death on this case. I will also be presenting the case to grand jury in order for them to make a determination of probable cause as well.
And what's the point of that? What's the point of that?
So the code of criminal procedure.
Hold on.
Sorry.
No worries. The Code of Criminal Procedure requires us to present it to grand jury, but it's just another way for the community to be involved with the case in ensuring that we get justice on behalf of the citizens of Harris County.
And can you elaborate a little bit? You said you're confident that you'll be able to get justice for Samuel.
Yes, I'm just confident that we have the right person and that I will be able to meet my burden in getting justice. And that's the oath that I took, and I plan on adhering to that oath.
Sarah says Sam's father, Dalton Olson, who participated in the search for Sam, took their son in January of 2020, never gave him back.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I guess I'm going to start off by asking if we could just take a minute to have a moment of silence for my son and just pray for him. I don't really know how to do this sort of thing. So just if y'all have any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Sarah, first, can you just talk about the toys you brought?
Yeah, Sam was obsessed with Toy Story ever since he was a baby. He loved Toy Story, and Buzz and Woody, those two were his favorite, but he loved all of them. He loved Toy Story.
How are you holding up now in light of everything you've been through?
I'm holding up. I just, it's hard. I'm just taking it day by day. Nobody ever expects something like this. I still am trying to, understand things.
What would you say to Teresa Balboa? At one point, she had, apparently told police that you had the boy. Now she's the one facing a charge in connection with the case. What would you say to her?
I have nothing to say to her.
Have you had any interaction with Balboa?
Other than last year at the birthday party, she said hi to me. No, I've never met her other than that.
So you had no idea she was in the care of your son at all?
I thought Dalton had him. I thought he was good with his dad.
So Sarah, you were trying to go through the legal ways of getting him back in your possession.
Yes, I was. Dalton took Sam last January in 2020 and never returned him. Actually told me that I would never speak to him again. And I called police after police trying to figure out what I could do, and it was a civil matter. So I had to take it to court. And, things can be slow.
When was the last time you were able to spend time with Sam?
May 31st of 2020. It was his birthday party.
Can you talk more about what that interaction was like? Remember what moments with him?
Yeah, when I got there, he told me, I knew you would come for me. And, he just basically stood with me the whole time. And I was planning on taking him home that day, but I was stopped.
So were you able to talk to him on the phone or communicate with him at all? Not at all.
Dalton, no. I was not allowed.
I would assume you want justice, but what does justice look like for you, or what would that mean for you?
For the people involved to get, legally what they deserve. And just a lot of change needs to happen in the legal system, among the people, among parents. You know, it's not just my kid. It's not just me. It's a lot of people going through the same, not the same thing, but the same thing. And something needs to be done.
And has Samuel been laid to rest? Has it been funeral or what?
He is currently at the funeral home still.
I mean, it's just been really tough, you know, with Sarah right now. You know, young Samuel has not been able to be completely laid to rest because now that there's some, I guess, details, you know, with the death certificate and everything that we need to hash out and iron out, you know, and Sarah wants a cremation, you know, for young Samuel. And so we need hopefully the cooperation of Dalton, you know, to get this done. But so that seems like what's holding things up right now. And that's a very unfortunate, you know.
Have you spoken with Dalton recently? So do you believe Dalton is involved?
I do. I don't see how he couldn't. With all the evidence that has now been brought to life, how are you not involved?
Do you recall what were your last words to him on that May 21st party you were able to see?
Yeah, I told him I loved him and that everything would be okay.
Documents reveal that Samuel Olson may have been dead nearly 3 weeks before his remains were found. Records say Balboa's roommate reportedly claimed seeing the 5-year-old dead at their apartment in Webster on May 10th.
May 10th, Balboa's roommate says she called him saying the boy was dead in their apartment. The roommate left work and found the boy laying in a bed covered in bruises. They put him in a bathtub for 2 days. Today, this apartment near Webster now has a notice to vacate.
Put my finger in her face and I said, at the end of the day, this is going to be over with. Do you understand? And she looked me right in my eyes and said, yes, sir. Just like that. Put that child in a bathtub for 2 days on ice and then buys the tote.
On May 13th, duct tape and a storage tote were purchased by the roommate. He told investigators he helped Balboa wrap the boy's body in a plastic sheet, placed the child in the tote, then stored it at this storage facility in Webster. On May 31st, the little boy's body was moved from the storage unit to Jasper, Texas.
According to court records obtained by KHOU 11, the father's girlfriend, Teresa Balboa, met a man at a Cleveland, Texas Walmart parking lot earlier this week. We know she couldn't be located Monday evening after the search of an apartment complex where she and the boy had stayed. Court documents claim the man brought his pickup truck to that parking lot. Balboa was there along with a black plastic bin with a yellow lid. Documents state the bin was put into the back of the truck. After that, the two allegedly drove to the Best Western Motel in...
There's about 15 minutes left of this, guys. So thank you if you're watching this on past recording. Do appreciate it. If you can like and subscribe and share, I'd really appreciate that too, guys.
Jasper, where the couple is seen arriving in the motel surveillance video. The man is seen unloading the bin and taking it into room 106. Then the man allegedly leaves the motel, calls Crime Stoppers, and gives them a tip about a foul-smelling bin at the motel. When police show up, they find the bin in the room and Teresa Balboa in the bathroom. The police open the bin, which was secured with zip ties, and find what appeared to be a small human body in a black plastic bag wrapped in duct tape.
I told her, I said, I'm so damn disappointed in you. I said, you know what, every word you said in here is a lie.
She did the interview with the news. I told her, I said, Teresa, now you've lied to the entire world.
Helping in the search for Samuel, Texas EquiSearch founder Tim Miller says he suspected Balboa since the beginning. He even told Sam's father she had something to do with it.
I said, this girl right here you're sticking up for has everything to do with it. And that's when she decided she needed to go in Ben's apartment and change clothes.
He believes the pressure he put on Balboa during the search is what forced her to flee with Sam's body.
I know exactly what she did. She went in Ben's apartment and she says, hey, you know what? We got to get out of here. There's too much heat going on. She went in and changed clothes, of course, and then it was shortly after that she disappeared.
According to the initial autopsy report, Samuel died from homicidal violence with blunt head trauma, and new documents say Balboa struck Sam with a blunt object. Now charged with capital murder, Harris County prosecutors are hoping to keep Teresa Balboa in jail, saying she's responsible for the death of 5-year-old Samuel Olson. 2 others, including Balboa's roommate Benjamin Rivera, were charged with tampering with evidence in Sam's death.
27-year-old Dylan Walker drove Teresa Balboa to Jasper and rented out the room where Olson's body was found. He is charged with tampering with evidence. Also, court documents say Walker is the one who called Crime Stoppers.
It appears to be that justice is on its way for little Samuel Olson. And here's Ms. Sarah Olson that has a few words for you all.
Hi, I'm Sarah Olson. I want to start off by thanking everybody for the prayers and the support and for helping bring justice to my son. I want to thank the media for getting his story out there. It's been a long time. It feels like it's been a long time. And it feels like it's also just begun, and I'm thankful that someone's finally being held accountable for my son, and I'm hoping more justice gets served. Honestly, I was a little angry. I am thankful for her getting charged for the murder, but I know for a fact someone else needs to be charged, and he's still out there, just running around free.
Who is that person, Sarah?
It's Sam's father. It's Dalton Olson. He was supposed to keep our son safe, and he didn't. He took him away from me for what? To have him murdered?
Sarah, there are now 3 people who have been charged here, including the 2 gentlemen who are accused of helping Ms. Balboa dispose of and transport Samuel's body. As prosecutors work to put this case together, what do you expect from them in terms of what they know about what happened to your son and what they should be talking about and telling prosecutors as they work this case? Or any thoughts on that?
I just hope they did say everything. And for everyone that was involved, I hope they did name them. I hope the police do know and are just keeping us in the quiet, because it is an open case still. I'm thankful that they did come forward, because without them, who knows where my son be.
So sad.
Can you describe just, you talked about waiting for this moment, because you've been waiting for this. I know the words are hard to come by, but just describe what your family's been going through, Sarah.
We've been going through a lot of pain, not knowing, and it's anger. We have anger, and we just want all those that are responsible to be held accountable.
So can you talk about if you were able to finally closure, get closure bringing the baby?
We were finally able to cremate Samuel. I was able to take his ashes home on, I believe it was the 27th. And we'll be holding a private service for him tomorrow.
What did that mean for you that you were finally able to go through that process? After waiting days that it take, in your heart it was like so long.
Honestly, I was waiting so long to get my son back. This isn't how I wanted to celebrate him coming back. So it hurts. It hurts having to do this because it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Sarah, is there an ability for you to be consoled or counseled through this? I mean, no one can imagine experiencing what you're experiencing and what you're living. I mean, how are you getting through it?
My faith in God is strong. The prayers, my prayers, y'all's prayers, I believe that really is getting me through this. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know how I'm standing here talking to you. I don't know how I'm processing it other than I have faith in God. And that's it.
Sarah, what's next for you, I guess, as this moves forward? What are you going to be doing?
Living day by day, being the best I can at whatever I'm doing. Life's hard, and it just got a lot harder. So
I was a little bit frustrated that it takes so long for somebody to get charged in the death of your baby.
it was very frustrating. It was all honestly, the person that I feel really needs to be charged is still walking around. And that's really what I'm waiting for.
What should he be charged with, you think? What did he do wrong?
He originally kidnapped my son from me. And then he put him in harm's way. Knowing there was a court order against Teresa Balboa, he handed our son to him. You endangered our child. And who knows what else happened? Only he knows, and he's sitting there silent.
Have you heard from him?
He tried contacting me about a week after they found Samuel, but I did not answer his phone calls.
If you were to talk with him, what would you say to him? If you're watching, what would you want him to know personally from you?
Tell our son's story. Stop being silent. Let us know what happened to Sam. There's no way you didn't know.
What about Teresa? What if you had a conversation with her right now?
At the end of this, which is finishing in a minute, I've got another video to bring up about Samuel.
I have no words for her.
His father, Dalton, through his attorney, denies being involved, saying, quote, he had nothing to do with the death of his son and that the family is mourning, shocked and in disbelief. Olson's attorney also saying right now they're wanting answers as to what happened and why. Dalton is with family and friends as they process what's happened.
At the end of this street, on the corner of this quiet neighborhood,
he'd run with his dad, he'd play with his dad. He was laughing, smiling.
Is where police believe Samuel Olson spent the last few weeks of his life.
Like a normal little boy.
Donnie and Natalie Wichikoski live across the street.
You know, I seen them out in the yard playing and walking, you know, down the street. So to me, it seemed like a good relationship.
From the home where Sam and his father Dalton lived for a short time with a family friend.
He told me that this was Dalton and him and his little boy are living with me right now.
The neighbors say they often saw the two playing in the front yard, and Dalton
seemed like a nice guy to me.
Frequently walked Sam to school at Holbrook Elementary, which was just around the corner.
They just seemed like a normal, happy father-son duo. I mean, I never saw anything suspicious.
Police say Samuel was last seen at that school April 30th, but wasn't reported missing until May 27th. They believe he died more than 2 weeks earlier. Houston police say Samuel's father is not a person of interest, but he's someone they say they're still interested in talking to. However, these neighbors say they don't believe he was involved.
I truly don't think that Dalton knew. Like, I really don't.
Dalton is not a bad father. He would never harm that baby. He loves him to death. He would die for him. And if you're a parent, you understand what he's going through right now.
I was with that family until about 12:30 after midnight, and it was devastating being over there last night, seeing Dad going through all the pain and grief and everything he was going through.
This morning, members of the group that searched for Samuel Olson and family members wearing shirts honoring the 5-year-old
He would have been an amazing big brother.
packed this Houston courtroom to see the woman who murdered Olson admit responsibility and accept punishment.
Teresa Balboa pled guilty to the murder in order to keep her family from having to go through the trial, according to her. Prosecutors say it was in May of 2021 when Balboa killed 5-year-old Sam Olson and placed his body in a storage container, which later was found in a hotel in Jasper. Sam's mother did read an impact statement in court saying, quote, "You took my life. I can never have closure because of the state the body was returned in." Sam's paternal grandmother also referred to Balboa only as a monster during her impact statement. Samuel's father was also in court, but he actually had to leave before those victim impact statements could be read. He was visibly angry as he sat in court. His fists were clenched as he was sitting behind the attorneys. He appeared to be inconsolable, as you could imagine, over something like this happening, over the death of his child.
Pretty upset. Her charge was reduced to murder instead of capital murder. I wanted to take it to trial, but that wasn't going to happen. You're an absolutely disgusting person. I think she should do life, honestly. She has a chance of parole in 26 years. That's still that chance that she can get out. She shouldn't have a chance at all.
Exactly.
Today she admitted to what she did for 52 years and the chance of parole in 26. My son did not even get 6 years of life, and she still gets a chance at one. This is not justice.
Bless him.
Houston police are searching for a missing 5-year-old boy.
So that one's being played, so let me stop sharing that one. I know we'll probably land up going over on pieces. Look at my bloody headphones. Oh, I don't like these ones, but my other ones are broken. Share screen. Which one was it? This one? Let me just check. Yeah, this one. Because different channels say different things, don't they? Just make sure I've got the right ones.
32. Let's get to a big story developing.
It's only
while you
on
were
a couple
sleeping.
minutes.
A new arrest in the case of a little boy found dead in a Texas motel room.
So, Steph, Samuel Olson was just 5 years old when he died. Now, first, police arrested Teresa Balboa, the girlfriend of the little boy's father. Now they've also got Balboa's roommate in custody. And while you were sleeping, we learned who he is. Brittany Ford now joining us live following the story from the Harris County Jail. Brittany, we have new information.
Well, guys, good morning. Just continuing developments in this case. Benjamin Rivera has now been accused of tampering with the corpse. He's expected to face a judge this afternoon. Now, that is the same exact charge that Teresa Balboa is currently facing. Now, he was taken into custody late last night around midnight. We have new information, new documents we'll show you here. According to police court documents, police had questioned him at arm's length in this case. Now, those documents say Rivera told police that Samuel Olson died sometime around May 10th. And according to new documents we obtained overnight, Rivera and Balboa coordinated to hide the body when they expected apartment maintenance to visit their unit. Now, a few days later, that was nearly 2 weeks before he was reported missing. The documents also talk about text messages between Rivera and Balboa discussing the plan to move the body from their apartment to a storage unit and then eventually to a motel in Jasper where police found the remains along with both suspects on June 1st. Now, again, we have identified that man as Benjamin Rivera. He's now in custody, expected to face a judge this afternoon. Continuing developments in this story, guys, we'll be there at that court hearing and we'll have the latest for you on KHOU.com and throughout that snoozecast as we get it. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Brittany Ford live at the jail for us this morning on this big case. Brittany Ford, thank you so much. And for more on this developing story. Head to KHU.com or you can download our.
Right. So thank you, everyone, for watching me today. I do appreciate it. As I said earlier, if you could like and subscribe, all notifications, and share the story, because we need to give this little boy a voice. You know, as I say, I know the stepmother wasn't officially his parent, but every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. That's my way of thinking. It has been for quite a long time now. And I think it's fairly true. You know, there's so many people out there that want kids, and for whatever reasons, they're not able to have any children. I don't know what Teresa's motive was in unaliving little Samuel. I don't know. It's just mind boggers and that. So, but thank you again. And later on today, I'm hoping to do Elijah View. So come back and watch that one. I need to gather some evidence up and do some research into it after I've had a spot of lunch. So thanks again. Bye.